Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. I really feel grateful for this invitation. I had a, I had a new experience in Nepal before here. Last year, Dr. Twari invited me to give a speech at a conference, national conference here. But it was really difficult for me to join in because I had just came from Malaysia, so it was a long journey for me. So it was really difficult for me to go again to India. So I said, I promise one day I will come and see your country and all your lovely friends and colleagues and family. And then suddenly I remember that, well, I'm going to Nepal, so I should do something on like education purpose because I'm like a world traveler, but everywhere I go, I try to give some speech or like conference because I'm an educator. My name is Bilge, means wise person in Turkish. So that means this person just travel all over the world or somewhere, learn something, experience something in order to share, in order to deliver to this experiences. So today I will talk about mindfulness actually. I'm sure you're already familiar with this one. You're really lucky community in here. Because while I explain, you will see that mindfulness was born in this area like Nepal and India from Buddhism, Buddha actually. You know, Buddha is just born in Nepal and enlightened in India. So it's really great. So you're really lucky to have this one. Because nowadays, mindfulness is really popular all over the world. The waking up, the awareness of mindfulness means like meditation. Not exactly meditation, mindfulness is the same, but it's very similar. I will explain you. So the Massachusetts University, a professor, a doctor, found this by using meditation and developing a program called mindfulness. So nowadays, there's really huge interest to this approach, like meditation, Buddhism, Hinduism, or something. So you're lucky. Everybody try to understand, try to know your culture. I am the one who feels really lucky about that because I'm here and I'm invited by you. Thank you very much for this. First of all, I would love to ask you, is there anybody who doesn't understand me, understand my language, my speech in English? Okay. Is there anybody who understands me? Okay, great. Yeah, okay, you understand me. Okay. So, thank you very much. So, I'm a professor at Bahçeşehir University, Department of Psychological Counseling and Guidance in Istanbul, Turkey. First of all, I would love to show you some of the picture about, oops, if I can, yes. Where is Turkey? By the way, from now on, you have a family member, you have a colleague, or you have a friend from Turkey, so you're more than welcome to come to Turkey if you would love to come in. And you can follow me or you can write me an email. You will see my email at the last slide, so you can always keep contact with me, please. So Turkey, you see, in the world, yeah, Turkey is just there. It seems very close to you actually, but still it's like 7 hours from here, Turkey. And yeah, you see Turkey, and it seems it's in a, like not like big, not like huge, but we have 7 regions. And most interestingly, nowadays it's really Buddhism and like mindfulness waves. And people are really interested in mindfulness and Buddhism in this Muslim country. So that means actually humanism. That means like people have soul. People have like are like human beings. So that's the most important thing, I think. So it doesn't have to be like white and black and different religion or something. So fortunately, we are the psychologists, we are people from psychology department, so we know this and we feel this on our heart, right? So we have 7 regions, and I will explain you how we spread this mindfulness issue at the schools all over Turkey. So how lucky our students. So I live in Istanbul. Here is in Istanbul. It's the Marmara region actually, just a small part. But my university has 250 colleges all over Turkey, like all over regions actually. And it's managed from the general management of Bahçeşehir colleges in Istanbul, so we spread the knowledge to all over Turkey. So that's why I'm showing this picture. This is Turkey. And some of the picture to take your attention to come to Turkey. Yes, this is Istanbul, where I live, and my university is somewhere around here. So definitely we should do an exchange program together. To agreement to come and to exchange our knowledge, and staff exchange and student exchange. So my university is there. So you see, Turkey is well known with mosques, and I saw one here while coming to here actually. But we are the liberal, we are the secular people in general. Like, we don't practice much, especially young people actually. We love the life. But, our parents and our, our grandparents know it better than us, but we always respect, right? I'm sure it's the same in here. So, do you see this is the popular touristic place in Istanbul, in order to take your attention to come to Turkey. And could you please change the computer up? Yeah. In order to get it easier. Okay, yeah, maybe, no, And this is another mosque, and this is the Bosphorus Bridge. This is really important, I guess, I think, because Istanbul, Turkey, is like a bridge from Europe to Asia. So it's in the middle. In order to go to Europe, for example, you have to stop in Turkey. Or like, for example, the same for the airplane. Generally, they stop in Turkey, but it's a bridge from Europe and Turkey. So that's why we are not a European, we are not either Asian, unfortunately. But it's good that we're in the middle. So the cultures, it's like, and the European and Western part is individualistic culture. People think about themselves in general, or they're individual in general. But in Asia, like us, for example, because the bigger part of Turkey, including the Asia, so we are the collectivistic culture we have. But nowadays, all over the world, it's changing. It's been changing because we don't strict on our culture, especially in the big cities, more international cities, but still hopefully we respect and we practice our culture. So where I started mindfulness, how I learned mindfulness, well, when I moved to Istanbul from the other region of Turkey, I didn't know that how I needed to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice before meditation. I will explain you. Of course, I didn't know that because I didn't have an idea about the meditation. I heard, yes, but I didn't have an idea about that, and I didn't have an idea about the research result or something like that. But after that, I found myself 5 years ago. Well, I started to work on mindfulness in United Kingdom when I was a postdoc fellow there at Roehampton, but it was just a research purpose. The research means like, in order to understand the relationship of 2 or more variables, you do research and you do analysis. It was just based on research. But after that, I started to use some practices. And when I came back to Turkey, I moved to Istanbul. It is like here, actually. You were mentioning about mindlessness, like an automatic pilot. Like, all the time, although we walk somewhere, we don't remember where we passed. because our mind is not there, here and now. We're just mindless there. So that's why sometimes we just cross a wall, or just like, for example, drop in a hole, or just, crashed in a glass wall, let's say, door, let's say. Or, for example, a friend of ours just passed and we couldn't see the friend because our mind is not there. And Istanbul is really a great area, a great city for that, because everything is rushed in there. Even in the morning, when you wake up, just suddenly wake up and just go to the bathroom, for example. If you have a kid or if you have a family, for example, the first word before good morning is, come on, baby, your service is coming, come on, let's have a breakfast, come on, just drink this water or something. So there's like, come on all the time, come on, like all the time, just making rush. So that's why the life makes us really mindless, because our mind is always wandering to the past, into the future. Although the past is past, you cannot bring it back. For example, what have you done yesterday? Me, for example, I was in India Gate, and I was in metro. Everybody was looking at me like this. I was feeling like I am one of the celebrities because many people in the park in India Gate wanted to take a picture with me. So maybe my hair or something, but it was really great. I was really happy. But unfortunately, it's past already, right? So I can remember the nice moments, but it shouldn't affect the now, the present moments. Otherwise, we lose our moments right now. How about the future? The words different from the anxiety and worry. Fear. Fear is the real one, but the anxiety is not the real one. Means like thinking about the future, living in the future. Is there any possibility to live in the future? You may not know. No. You cannot change. There is really something you cannot change. Like, for example, the weather, the experiences, the happening, the events, you cannot change. So no point to live in the present, future. But we do it. You're not alone. We do it all the time. So how I started, in order to learn this mindfulness, since this is an experiential issue, it is not only the literature or not only the theory, but also the practice, even just the sitting position like lotus. Oh my God, it's really difficult for me. It was really difficult for me. Many times I couldn't feel my legs or something because of this position. For example, so this is also experiential things. So we needed to get some training. Here is me. And at this time, 5 years ago, we started 4 or 5 years ago and finished the 2016 and 17 actually. Unfortunately, there is no training program in this east part, but in the western part, United States. We completed the graduate program, like a teacher training program on mindfulness. And since I'm an educator, I'm a professor at Faculty of Education on the school counseling department. Psychological counseling and guidance means like school counseling. We improve our students. Anyway, so since my interest and concern as education, I got a training on mindful school in order to teach new things, the good things to our kids, because they are our future, right? If we teach them, later the world can change. So, and, yep, how we start? Just breath. Breath is our companion. Breath is our companion. Breath is with us when we just born, come to the world. But we forget the breath all the time. But breath is with us like whatever we feel, just assume that, for example, when you feel anxious, your breath is with you. When you run here, for example, it's just like fasting. So it is your companion, it is your primitive friend, but we forget sometimes. So can we show a video? Do we have a voice connection? Yeah. I would love to show you a video, and again, it's in American, but it's explained. Oh, can I do this? Oh, no. No. Okay, then I will show you later. Now it's not available, I think. Okay, sorry. Of course, I copied the presentation, but I didn't copy the. But I think it's embedded already on the presentation. Still, it's not possible to show it. No? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. So we started with the breath, actually. Our companion, our great friends from our born. And the mind. We try to teach the people, first of all, we learned actually how to synchronize the mind and breath and the body, because this is the holistic view. This is the whole body approach, actually. So we can control. The research result says that we can control our minds by just taking a breath, deep breath. This provides us to far from mindlessness. For example, when you, there is a remember part as well, but when you practice it, your mind can be with you most of the time, especially after a couple of days or 21 days, people said. So I am sure, but I cannot work in this one. Yeah, I would love to do it. Okay. So, when we are on automatic pilot, our mind is not with us because we are just an automatic. The automatic cars, and the airplanes that are like an automatic. You don't need to control anything. Just like your body, it's just like walking. After you learn how to walk, for example, your mind is not there, but your body is doing something. While eating, for example, you don't know what to eat, you don't know what to taste, how to taste is, because your mind is not there, because you are under control of automatic pilots. Then let's see how much are we in automatic pilots, and when are we in automatic pilots? Yes, I do want to make a practice with you right now, just with your leg, with your shoulders. Yeah. Could you please cross your shoulders? Yeah, it's just an automatic. It's easy, isn't it? It's easy. Please leave it. And please do it again. Absolutely 95% you did the same as before. Could you please just be aware of now? How about your fingers there? Which one is up and which one is down? How about your, like for example, your fingers up there, left or right? Or how high it is? It is on your belly maybe, or just up maybe. Yeah, okay. Please be aware of now just the sensation and any tension on your shoulder. Take a deep breath and leave it. And please try to do on the contrary of before. Yeah, you see, we are all the time, even it's just like the easy things, we are automatic, because we do it automatic, we don't know. After practicing a couple of times, you get used to do the, on the contrary, it's just an easy actually, it doesn't give you any maybe importance, but research results show that when we learn something, our brain take it and put it on the hippocampus. Have you heard it before? Yes. It is a library of our brain. So when you need this behavior, let's say, or this experience, your brain take it from your hippocampus. You don't need to work, or you don't need to make your brain work, let's say. It's just an automatic. But if you be aware of what you are doing at this moment, like for example, just the simple things. For example, in the morning when you wake up, just wash your face, for example, and feel the sensation of your face, like the water and the coolness on your face, for example. Your neuron started to develop a new connection, synaptic connection. So your mind and your brain started to work, and it's like bright. So that's why neurologically it's important, and psychologically also it's important. So have you ever said something and you later regret it? Many times, right? Have you ever been so nervous for a presentation or an event that you couldn't sleep the night before? Like an exam, for example, or a meeting. How about the later of this event, couldn't you sleep for hours? Before you couldn't sleep, after you couldn't sleep, because you're living in the past and the future, not in the now, in general. How about walking into a room to get something but then forget what you were looking for? Any times. Sometimes just open the fridge and forget, what should I do? Or put the remote there and then go back to the television, and to decrease the sound, for example, you said, but where did I put the remote or something? So, oops. Have you been really sad or upset, but you didn't know exactly why in the morning, for example? It's just, again, in the mind. Have you been on the way, but you don't remember where you passed? Especially if you drive a car, for example, in Istanbul, there are many exits, but if you forget to use this exit, you can go another city or something. Or you have to, in the, on the road, you have to turn back, U-turn, you have to do in 5, 10 more kilometers you have to go, but you don't remember. Or just the same that when somebody is asking about your place, you just need to think. Well, on the third light, you should turn left, and there are a shopping, but I don't remember the name now. And then I think it was the 4th building and the 3rd or something. So, because we always live our life like under the control of automatic pilot. Our bodies going there, and we're eating, and we're doing like an automatic all the time. Yeah. Have you ever not noticed the hole in front of you when you were walking? Fortunately, you're still alive. Especially driving, it's really dangerous under the control of automatic pilots, because, you may have some things that you didn't expect to see it just crash. So that's why from time to time we just drop in a hole or crash in a sign. Fortunately, the sign is high right now, higher than our body, let's say. And Have you ever hit a glass door? I'm not sure in India you have in a shopping center especially, and a glass door and you don't see the door and just like, I will tell you a funny story about me that in Turkey we have shopping centers including like Zara or some popular brands, and the fitting room and trying rooms, they have mirrors, big, huge mirrors. While walking to the mirrors, although seeing ourselves, just crash on ourselves because our mind is not there. Somebody is walking toward me, it's me, walking toward each other. But now at this time, instead of me, probably I was just looking at my dress, outfit, or something like that. So, how do you feel when you get this event, when you get this occasion? Like, for example, just crash in a wall, or drop in a hole, or when you wake up. So, mindfulness is like waking up by the other stimulating events. Like, for example, when you crash into a glass door, how do you feel right now? Just your mind come back on the present moment where you are at the same time, and you started to feel your body sensation. Probably your knee is aching, and probably you started to feel like shame. So you feel like shame. Is there anybody who saw me already? Something. So your feelings, your body sensation, and your mind at the same time synchronize. So this is mindfulness. So this is being aware of, consciously aware of the present moment without judgments. So we see the mind, we see the concentrating on many places, area. For example, you know the sniper, in order to hit the part, he needed to be concentrating on the things. But there is a lacking things there, judgments, feelings, just the concentrating. So the mindfulness includes many things. That's coming from Buddhism and this Hinduism, Buddhism actually, because it includes gratitude, it includes compassionate, it includes forgiveness, it includes kindness, loving kindness. I will mention details actually. So that's why it is consciously aware of what's happening right now in the present moment without judgment, like an observing without judgment. So that's why we teach our kids to observe themselves, like in meditation actually, like away from the body and just observing without saying good or bad, ugly or dirty, just an observing actually, so without judgment. So this is mindfulness, okay? You're not alone and you're mindless. If you are mindless actually, these are related to your mind. So what is mindfulness is also translated like conscious awareness. You know, consciousness is like knowing what to do at this time, and awareness is, you know, being there at the present moment. So this is the best picture to explain the mindfulness actually. You know, the mindful, we all have such minds. You know the mole, full means full actually. So the mindful is like the left person. It's like, for example, just look at the person. Although two persons are walking probably in the garden, like 4 trees and sun, but this person doesn't experience anything about this present moment, just thinking about the future and the past. So this is mindful. But how about mindfulness, like mindful? You know, one of the L is not there, but the mindful means like being here in the present moment. Of course, it's not impossible. It's impossible all the time. You cannot make it. John Kabat-Zinn, developer of mindfulness program, say that thoughts and minds are like waves. You cannot stop the waves. in terms of the change of weather, if it's strong, for example, you have strong thoughts, like waves, the strong waves. But the weather is just smooth, it's like cloudy, let's say, but the waves are still there, but just like going and coming back. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf it. So you cannot stop your mind to create, you develop the things, thoughts, but you can learn mindfulness. Means like how you can control your body for like just 3 minutes. You can start with the 3 minutes in the daytime. So this is one of the important things. Differentiate mindfulness from meditation. I will also explain that one. And formal mindfulness. And mindfulness, you can do it everywhere, every situation. For example, while in the metro, you can just close your eyes and you can take a deep breath, just like 3 minutes. Mark Williams, a professor at Oxford University, says that people deserve to get 3 minutes space, 3 minutes breath space in this crazy life, in this running all the time actually. So just 3 minutes can be enough in order to get this practice. And yeah, so consciously aware of what is happening right now means like synchronizing mind, body and heart, means like feeling. So, and mindfulness now is really important because Lao Tzu, I'm not sure if it's written like that, but said, please just check your feelings. If you're feeling sad, please check your mind and your thoughts. Probably it's related to all past. When we think about our past, when we think about the good or bad things, mostly bad things, we feel depressed. Although it's just past and we cannot go back to there, we cannot bring it back. And if you're feeling anxious, please try to understand your thoughts. Probably it's related to, all are related to the future. Although you don't have these experiences. For example, in the morning, if you have an exam today, let's say, in the morning, exam is afternoon, for example, you started to feel anxious. Why? How do you know that you can go to this exam? How do you know that this afternoon what's happening? Maybe just world is upside down and you cannot get this exam or something. So there's no need to feel the events not happening yet. So if you feel anxious, probably you're feeling in the future. But if you feel at peace, if you're living in here and now. So the mindfulness is aware of the present moment without judgment, I already told. It is not a performance, it's a state of mind. This is absolutely differentiate mindfulness from meditation actually. Because in meditation, it's the formal one. You need to get a space. It should be, for example, ideally it should be like silent space. And you should get some scarf and you should get a lotus, for me, difficult position. Lotus position, and you should concentrate on, and your body you should control. I was in, before coming to here, I stayed in a monastery for 1 week with a lama and guru. So they taught me, actually, what is what. So, for example, my hairs, for example, my clothes or something. So, for your body, it's really important. So the formal mindfulness is like this one. I will be also mentioning about this, what is my MBSR, MBCT, MCC. So these are the formal mindfulness. Like, for example, mindfulness-based stress reduction based on meditation, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy based on meditation, mindfulness-based self-compassion. So these are the formal, means I'll be explaining you, including 8 weeks. At the same time, you should do this practice. Like, for example, just assume that when you go to gym, you have sessions you have some hours, for example, like 1 hour, you go to a gym, and a person make a program for you, like for example, you should walk on the treadmill, like informal, you should do it. But informal, instead of going to a gym, you put the healthy life, healthy style on your life. For example, you prefer to walk instead of getting a taxi, or what was the name of this? I love these small cars. Autos. And the other one? Rickshaw. I love them. Instead of getting rickshaw or autos, you prefer to walk while getting the sensation of your feet and the weather and the wind on your face, and bring your life, bring the healthy style on your life. For example, you do something for your body, because this body is just like present for you, and you should take care of your body. So it is kind of informal mindfulness. So this is ME, Mindfulness Education, and Mindfulness in Education, on which I'm expert actually. I mean, completed the certification program. So we teach the kids not the formal mindfulness actually, because in the class and the chairs, they don't have a chance to do meditation. And our culture, it's my mom. I never seen my mom doing meditation, for example, yoga. But they do praying like 5 times in a day or something. So just different. So since we should take it the secular, we should take something religious, something cultural issues out, like meditation and yoga, for example. Instead, we try to teach the kids the approach of mindfulness, like mind the issue, not the performance. So how about the foundation of mindfulness? We know that mindfulness meditation is coming from here, the eastern part, but in 1976, a young professor, we know that it's coming from the old tradition. It's a meditation tradition, educating the mind, originating back 4,000 years, means reaching mental, emotional, and physical health. But I believe that, not me only, believe that developing as the East many, many years ago, but the waking up, now it's popular, the West combining. It's not the same, but combining. So, well, I mean, of course you know better than me. I just read something, so that's why I just know some Buddhism or something. But this is the life, this is the style of life, art of life for you. This is the philosophy of Buddha, who lived for the 6th centuries. Buddhist teachings support the belief that the mind can be educated. All the issues, like your body is your companion, let's say, you should look after that, and your mind, you can control your mind, take it, and applications divided into Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. In the literature, in the science literature about psychology, actually, it's written there. Theravada Buddhism has a doctrine strictly on religion. But the Mahayana Buddhism, some adding most of the parts in Buddhism, like in daily life and like culture to culture. So that's why it's kind of philosophy, they said. Instead of Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism is just spreading around. Started with the Tibet, and then China, Japan, and turned into Zen Buddhism, Zen approach, and at the same time, while spreading all over the east part, young doctor, professor called John Kabat-Zinn. He's a Zen professor, Zen master actually, wanted to find a solution for the chronic pain. Do you know the chronic pain, like fibromyalgia, myalgia, for example? How do you pronounce it? I'm not sure. But it's the pain from here to spinal cord, and it's like muscle pain. You cannot find any solution for that, because the doctor said that there is no physical based on it. This is only psychological one. So that's why they refer you to the neuropsychologist, let's say, the neurologist or psychiatrist gives you antidepressants. And physiotherapy means like actually what mindfulness does for the body actually. So John Kabat-Zinn in 1967 developed a program in order to find a solution, find a new relationship with pain on the body with couple of, like 12 patients who has chronic pain in Massachusetts University laboratory. But he is a great bright professor because before application of this meditation program, MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction program, he took some of the picture of the brain, got some blood pressure, and got some interviewing with the patients. And then after implementing the 8-week program to the patients, when the program finished, means post-test, he took again the brain picture again, fMRI scene. It says fMRI scenes actually. I will show you some of the picture of this. So it's a great to know that there is a really huge difference before the pre-test and the post-test, between the pre-test and the post-test. Especially the prefrontal cortex developed. Especially the pain has changed on the body. You know, we have a map on our body, on our brain. So for example, every part of your body has a part on the map of this brain. So that's why he saw that this place of pain is changing. So this is a way of looking, perceiving the pain. Normally the research result says that pain is real, like suffering. You can have the same pain on your heart, for example, if you broke up a relationship, let's say, if you lose somebody, for example, it's the same pain when you hit your knee to somewhere. It's just 20%. But more than 20% is the perception. So you can make it bigger. You can make it larger, the area. So this is another way of looking the relationship between the pain, the act, let's say, and yourself. Like for example, I'm not sure if it's the same in here. In Turkey, if a child, while walking or running, just drop, the child look around. If the parents say that, oh my God, or something, the child started to cry. But before that, doesn't cry, for example. So this is a relationship of the act and the body, actually. So the mindfulness is concerning on this 20% part. Before judging, before perceiving it's a bit bad or good. So John Kabat-Zinn develops after doing a scientific result. And then a couple of years later, Mark Williams, I know Mark, and we've been together in many international events on mindfulness. He's really like a nice, kind person. He was a professor at Oxford University, and he went to John Kabat-Zinn, and he said, well, we practice cognitive behavior therapy, but it's just coming back again after a couple of years. We needed to teach something to our patient. So, so we want to combine this mindfulness practices into cognitive behavior therapy. So after John Kabat-Zinn, because John Kabat-Zinn is a medical doctor, he is a clinical psychology professor, he developed mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. And he launched a laboratory, mindfulness laboratory in Oxford University. And then Kristen Neff concentrated especially on the compassionate heart, compassion to ourselves and compassion to other people, and developed a program on mindfulness for self-compassion. So let's look at the theories shortly. What this comes from. Well, it is really huge and big area, but I don't want to get you bored. So that's why I try to make it shorten. Briefly, I try to explain it. Since I know that you're psychology students, I can tell you about the theories. If I can, yes. Especially nowadays, these are the popular theories, dialectical behavior therapy and acceptance commitment therapy. These are based on mindfulness, because mindfulness says that you should accept everything as they are without judgment. If you cannot change something, you should accept as it is. Like, for example, in our life, we cannot change our partner. Like in child, for example, I have a 10 years old son. Oh my God. God sent this child to make an exam to me, I think, because he's totally different from me. And I cannot change any behavior or something. He's more mindful than me. While I was just in rush, for example, come on, baby. I said, so you see, if you cannot change something, just leave it and just accept it. You can. The only thing you can change is yourself. So it's based on dialectical behavior therapy and acceptance commitment therapy. Actually, dialectical behavior therapy is the third wave of, these are third waves of cognitive behavior therapy. So like, as you remember, as you know, cognitive, the first one is behavioristic approach, like Skinner's, Paulo. Do you remember? Okay, I won't explain it. So behavioristic approach, you can punish or reward somebody in order to change the behavior. So I will make an exam when we finish the seminar, okay? So you learn it better. After that, on the second wave, cognitive behavior from Beck and Alice, rational and emotive cognitive behavior therapy comes as its second wave. And they're trying to change the thoughts in order to change the things, behavior. But on the third therapies, it starts with behaviors, like dialectical behavior therapy, acceptance commitment therapy, and relapse prevention. Coming back again means. So you see the behavior can change everything we said. For example, if you do meditation, if you, for example, the eating disorder or self-esteem problem, and we always suggest that, or depression, for example, we always suggest that. I want you to say hi and smile every single day on the face, on the mirror to you. So this is the behavior. This is the act. So if you start with the behavior, then you start to change the perception about yourself. Then you gradually start to accept yourself as you are. It's my nose. It can be big or huge or ugly or something, but it's still mine. And there's a function of this. Provide me breath, health. So it's in perception. It's a perception of that, actually. So mindfulness is a deep awareness, but awareing of what's happening around now. The meditation is just like another stage of mind. But mindfulness is your mind is just here, your eyes closed, but you just feel the sensation of what's happening there. For example, now, take a deep breath and feel the silence of the sound. Yes, I will give you a practice for now, just 3 minutes, like 3 minutes breath space, recommended by Mark Williams. Just 3 minutes. I will give you a tone of voice. This tone of voice makes you feel deep. And I want you to sit upright position, like, yes, your legs touch on the floor. And John Kabat-Zinn says that your shape of body, your position is like against, not against. It's like, yeah, it's the reflection of yourself to the world. Just assume that if you sit like upright position and your shoulders up and your chest is there, your chin is showing the right. So just assume that the feeling, just feel the feeling, just aware of the feeling. It means that yes, I am here. My legs and my feet are on the first surface. I'm strong enough. So I would love to invite you to take a deep breath, and while taking it out, closing eyes softly. Now I'll give you a voice. This voice makes you feel relaxed, and gently close your eyes. Please follow your breath, and first start aware of the outside of your body, like in the room, in the hall here. Feel the sounds you didn't notice before. This is the silence of silence. The sound coming from up and in the hole. Take a deep breath and follow your breath from your nose through your body, as if you have a glass body and you can feel the spreading breath. This is just a 3-minute space for yourself. And now gently close to your body and feel the sensation under your feet, touching on your shoes and your knees, and any sensation of your body, like your chest, like your shoulder, like your chin, nose, forearm, and your whole body. And take a deep breath. And now try to understand and analyze your feelings. How do you feel right now? Is there any unknown sensation resulting from your feelings? Be with your body and your hearts. And take a deep breath, and you will hear a tone of voice, and you can gently open your eyes after. So, I heard yesterday, well, I try to learn, I told you already, I try to learn the culture. So that's why I'm asking everything, like a child. What's this? What's the purpose of this? You remember today I saw a pepper, and it's why people put the pepper on this car. It's sad. Anyway, I have a young friend, Indian young friend. He's really enthusiastic to be with me and to visit somewhere. He came to me yesterday afternoon, he had something on, I saw your picture as well, Dr. Twari, you remember, and I asked you as well. And he came to me yesterday, and he had something the day before he didn't have, but he had before that, he had red things here. And I said, what happened? He said, my friend's sister made it. I said, why? He said, simply, in order to collect your mind, in order to get your mind here. So this is 3-minute space. It's the same purpose actually. When you feel like in the daytime, when you feel tired, and you feel like, for example, like your mind is just wandering, you cannot control the thoughts or something, you can just, you can have this red one. You should give it to me as well. I should use it in order to concentrate on something. And you can do this 3-minute space actually. The clinical psychology professor, Mike Williams, told us. So there are some benefits. Research results show that some benefits of mindfulness. As for example, increase the tolerance. So this is the research, like scientific research showed. Mostly experimental studies like pre-test, post-test results. Positive point of view, positivism, stress coping. This is another important thing. I don't have much time to explain all the details, but when you feel stressed, for example, amygdala activates, and amygdala makes your body as like fight or flight mood. So in your body, it's difficult to explain, but your body started to develop the cortisol hormone, means like stress hormone. So your body get a position of fight or flight, for example. But on the contrary of this, if you use mindfulness practices, your parasympathetic system activated. Instead of cortisol, your mind, your brain, started to develop, what was the name of this hormone on the positive, what? Cortisol, the feminine hormone, mother's oxytocin, yes, oxytocin. Instead of cortisol, oxytocin increase the function of parasympathetic system. So that's why we give importance to counseling, psychology, like touching. It doesn't have to be physically touching, but the touch the other people, let's say the thoughts. So well-being, reduce anxiety, because you teach them living here and now instead of future. Solves behavior problems, productivity, better relationship with people. Why better relationship with people? Because if you start to love yourself, it's really easy to love the other people. If you start to compassionate yourself, it's really easy to compassionate the other people. Everything should start your companion, your breath, your inner child, actually. So how mindfulness provides that soul? You know, the neuroplasticity means that it's also a new approach. Last year started. Before that, brain scientists believe that when you are 6 years old, for example, your brain development finished, and when you grow up, like for example, adolescent year, everything finalized, finished. No, it is not. Neuroplasticity says if you practice your mind, your breath, your body, physics of your brain physically changed, improved. So it's possible for you to improve your brain while doing meditation and mindfulness practices, and it's depending on your lifestyle. It means like informal mindfulness as well. Not only the formal mindfulness like practices meditation. Well, I recommend you to do meditation every single day, even, just like 15 minutes, for example. The research results and the scientists tell that shortest should be 15 minutes. It can be like 45 minutes if possible, but 15 minutes is also important. But also the informal mindfulness, for example, while eating something. I know here, for example, while we're just on the table, we do and pray and smell and something. So this is the mindfulness. This is also the mindfulness, actually. So there are many researchers working on brain and style brain issue. So they said, like in going to the gym to improve your body, if you do mindfulness, you improve your mind and your brain. It says, you know, the brain has two lobes, left and right. Fortunately, there isn't corpus callosum between them to connect. But when you do mindfulness, at the same time, your two lobes is activating, like what was the name? EMDR. But normally, it's one of them is just domain normally. But so mindfulness results show that you see changing the pain place and developing different part of the brain. You know, the prefrontal cortex, it's like it's called as well the short-term memory. It's just here and now. It's making decision. It's, you know, getting the feelings. Thoughts are generating here, and the prefrontal cortex here. And this is the amygdala, and this is connecting with this. And spinal cord, this is the primitive brain of our body, actually. So this is the corpus callosum. So you see, after doing mindfulness a couple of times, it's growing, it's improvement. This is an important picture, I think. I love this picture to explain it. You see the hippocampus, library of the brain, and you see the amygdala. Although these are their companion, they're really close to each other, but when you have a difficult feelings, or when you feel that you're under threat, amygdala, it's getting bigger in control of your body. How? This prefrontal cortex and this the limbic system in general, including hippocampus, just shut down by amygdala. Because at this time, if you're under threat, under danger, for example, the most important things, the valid things, is to survive. So that's why amygdala is getting higher, getting bigger, and shut down the other non-function of the other parts. Like, you cannot decide, you cannot feel anything except for fear or anxious, for example, and you cannot remember whatever you have because hippocampus is also under control, under function, let's say. Yeah, it's great. It's great that we didn't hit any track or we are still alive. We didn't bite it by a lion or something like that because we have amygdala. But there's an important another things that amygdala sometimes cannot differentiate the real or not real threats. For example, if you see a horror movie, your amygdala start to grow, and you feel exactly you are under threat. Or sometimes for some difficult emotions like fear, like anxiety, like anger, although they are not the real threat, amygdala is getting bigger and control non-function of other parts. So this is not okay for the life. So that's why, for example, people feel anger, let's say, just hit the other people. Because they believe that, the amygdala believe that they are under control. They are under threat. So that's why fight or freeze mode, coming in there. So that's why mindfulness helps you to control your amygdala. Mindfulness exercises. So, again. And how about your body? Interesting, the amygdala provides to improve your body. You get lesser flu than the earlier. So meditation and mindfulness practices are really good for health because it improves your new cells, generate new cells, help you to generate new cells which are protecting you from the outside viruses. So you see here, I will share the presentation actually, so you can share on the website or somewhere if you want, so you can see the details of what includes mindfulness. It's like the life actually. So Harvard University is really interested in nowadays on mindfulness. We got it from Harvard University actually. They wanted to see the difference before and after the meditation. So that's why they do some research on Tibetan lamas. So put some things in order to understand. This is fMRI scene, providing fMRI scene actually, how the brain changed before and after. So they get, of course, the body scan, like in seeing the body MR program, and then they got the results. And what the result says, meditation increases the positive emotion, for example. You can control your emotion. For example, if you feel depressed, you can control it. You can change your perception to life. And meditation provides a positive emotion, positive life. And meditation increases the tolerance of physical pain, which was the first, by John Kabat-Zinn, results of the benefits of meditation. So meditation sharpens attention acuity, means like put this red things, red dye, yes? Here, concentrate on something, take your mind on where. And meditation boosts immune response, like I said, and the body, and generate the new cells to protect yourself from your body from outside viruses. And meditation buffers cellular aging. This is good, especially for the ladies. So meditation increases the gray matter density. What is that? What does that mean, gray matter? We have gray matter in our brain, mostly neurons, a million number of neurons is there. So when the gray matter improves, your neurons and your synaptic connections and your brain improves. And meditation increases the compassion. You see the picture here, compassionate and non-compassionate, and before and after results. So compassionate toward yourself as well. You know, we most of the time we don't behave ourselves like we behave the people outside. We most of the time compassionate to other people, even in the animals, for example, outside. If you do wrong things, for example, you don't forgive yourself, but you easily forgive the others. Because we don't have, unfortunately, self-compassion. But meditation provides you to love yourself, love your inner child. And research indicates that the mind wanders, I told you before, the 47% of the time, and meditation provides you to concentrate on and lessen this mind wandering. And yes, the result shows then you can control your mind. And you should know the rumination as well. It's just like getting the same thing, thinking the same thing. So it's decreased the level of rumination as well. So how about my issue, the child? Okay, I'm going to finish soon. I don't want to get you bored too much, but I will briefly mention about why children. Just assume that your childhood, if you have a child, for example, just assume, imagine your child, let's say, or your knee, or your somebody up to 6, 7 years old. All the kids have pure hearts. They know the feelings, although they're angry here, for example, when they start to play with the friends, they forget everything because they always live here and now. And when they feel sensation, like smell, for example, they easily understand that. If you lose something, you can ask the kids. If the kids see once, the kids remember that one, the sensation is active there. Unfortunately, after 6, 7 years old later, effect of the outside environment, they start to lose these values and senses because they find themselves in the flow of life, just like running, running, running. So before they forget, now before they lose these precious skills, benefits for their life, we should teach them how to keep it. So that's why we prefer to teach the kids mindfulness. So how can we do it at the same time to many kids at school, in the school environment? Because human is the social being. We should be together with the other people, but we should get along well together in order to be happy to ourselves, let's say. So that's why it's easy to implement these things into the classroom, because at least 20 students in Turkey in the classroom, up to 6 students at the same time in the classroom. So results of the child and adolescent research showed that it decreased anxiety, depression, and somatic stress. Like, for example, maybe you also familiar with that. If the child has anxious feelings, for example, suddenly he has stomach ache or start to vomit or something. And increase the self-esteem, attention, and sleep regulation, especially the body scan. So, and that's why for 4 years in Turkey at Bahçeşehir colleges, I will show you some of the picture, have to implement it. We developed a program called Mindful School program, and it includes each week 1 class hour, 8 weeks for the first semester. We have 2 semesters, and 8 weeks for the second semester. Of course, we got the pre-test, post-test in order to see the effect of mindful school application. So I explained already why mindful school, because at the same time, we change the atmosphere of the school, climate of the school. So how? First, we introduce them to their companion, brats, again. And like we did here, practice here, they learn the position, sitting position first, and the body feels, and then the breath. And mindful listening, sometimes some Beethoven or some music, for example, sometimes just the silence of the silence. Just concentrating, improving the ability of the mind to concentrate. And of course, John Kabat-Zinn said, there is no mindfulness without heartfulness, means like some values, some humanities. So loving kindness is another part, so body scan, kind of this. Seeing, because most of the time, we look but we don't see, right? Like, we listen, but we hear, but we don't listen. So, if you put the attention, instead of hearing, you can listen. Instead of looking, you can see it. You can see it. So generosity, sharing the things with other people, and mindful thoughts, you cannot stop the thoughts, but you can control it. And relationship, of course, and emotions, like sensation of your body, and gratitude, and movements, walking, and eating, of course, like not all the time praying, but gratitude for this food. And of course, the self-compassion. So what we do have an 8 plus 8 week program. So we needed to use a scale in order to understand the effect of mindfulness program. So we developed self-reported scale. The kids answer it. Also the teacher observe the students and answer it. And weekly we send an instruction, because we needed to stabilize the program, because I show the regions of Turkey, like for example, the European side is more Western than the Eastern side. So Eastern side is more religious, more conservative. So in order to be secular, we prepared some program, like weekly program instructions, send it to school counselor, and school counselor implemented the program to the kids. Like here, they do it, and now here the teacher explained the importance of here and now. This is the past, this is the future, and mind is wandering, but importance of the mind now. So mindful body position, and mindful listening we start with. And breaths, following the breaths. And generosity, good heart, and body scan. I told you that there's a map on our body, including all the parts of body. So if you scan it, it's like activates all the parts if you don't use it. Some parts of body, for example, we don't use it, but brain all the time has a function of use or lose, right? So in order not to lose it, we should use it. Maybe we don't use it, but if we scan it, it's activating again. So anchor words, like for example, yes, I'm thinking right now, or I'm feeling this things, for example. And generosity, and mindful thoughts, and mindful seeing, and mindful feelings, in order to concrete the issue for the kids. We prepared this workbook actually, and then we made it book. It was worksheet first, and then we developed a book. I will show the picture of this book to you. So every week they get this mindfulness class. They had a chance to concrete it while drawing, for example, or while painting, for example. So the mindful feeling, slow motions. Feel the sensation of your body while walking, let's say, and gratitude, and walking, eating, and of course, mindful test taking. In Turkey, unfortunately, all the kids had to get tests in order to go to the other level. So, of course, we needed to get the post-test again in order to compare the pre-test and post-test results. So results showed us 7 regions, 52 cities, and 83 colleges. College means like private school in Turkey, not like in college at university. So these are the primary school students, though. So we, besides mindfulness scale, we used the life quality scale. It was including personal, interpersonal, and school-related life quality. And the research results showed that this is a life, art of life. It started with the school-related life quality because they started to love the school. And then personal, then interpersonal, gradually. And anxiety we checked. You know, the anxiety has 3 dimensions: cognitive, social, and physical. So change first the cognitive, because they started to learn how to control the body, mind, feelings. And then physical, they started to control the anxiety on their body. And then social, transferring this to relationship. Okay, I'm almost end. And you see the pictures. They are our primary school students in the classroom environment. And this is our workbook, Mindful School Book. There are some, for example, this is mindful feelings. We want to, after explaining this class, we asked the kids to paint which feelings affect or give a sensation of your body, for example. So, for example, when they feel anxious, they feel stomach, let's say. So this is the touching again, and we had mandala, and this is the feelings you see, and thoughts. We write the thoughts name on the balloons and we leave it go. And yes, these kids just before the exam try to control the mind, the feelings, anxious feelings. And thank you very much for now. I would love to give you more detail, but maybe next time. So, well, as I told you before, still the same. Anytime, if you need help or if you need any companion from Turkey, you can always write me, you can follow me, and you can contact with me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm active in general. Okay, or you can always write me, mail me if you need any question. If you come to Turkey, please just let me know. If I am in Istanbul, because I'm traveling too much, I would love to host you. Thank you very much.